When? Week from Wednesday? Name and address for the record, please.
Dr. William Wood, 25 Bustle Road, Medford. Strangely enough, as it may seem, I agree with both Michael Marks, Councilor Penta, Councilor Kern, and Councilor Cavallero. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit trouble talking tonight. I also was at one of those meetings where I asked a few minor questions. I was also told by the administration that I would get something in the mail. Unless a postman comes in tonight, I haven't gotten anything. There's a thing called transparency, which is, I think, what Councilor Penta is talking about. There's a problem with department heads thinking they don't need to talk to the public. You're the council, I'm the public. And the public isn't getting any more news than you are. Now, I was told at that meeting, but prior, that there's so-called no such thing as any regulations or guidelines, if you all remember, right? Here they are. I'm going to give you the date they were published, because remember, they were dealing with 2007. Right here, I'll read who does it too. Right here, June 2003. And Councilor Marks is probably right. They probably updated these a dozen times. These are the most updated version, so I don't know what was in there in 2003. So, I'm going to go and say, nothing was spoken about at that meeting about operation, one of the most important things in doing this. You've got a bunch of disabled people going into that pool. You need somebody there who knows how to save a life for a disabled person, not just a person. There's a seating arrangement needed to be followed. There's pool lifts, grab rails, there's decks, there's seat heights and footrest. There's, by the way, on page 11, I'll send you all a copy if you need it, the operations of the pool, important. According to, by the way, I don't think I told you who did this. The United States Access Board for the federal agency committed to accessibility, the Access Board of the United States. That's a board we all go to for design. Why an architect doesn't look at it, I know why, because it will drive cost up. And I do agree with you, by the way. We should make priorities. Which priorities should we do? But I have to keep coming in here and bringing up the issue of disabilities, because that's my area of expertise. This thing's called submerged death, and this is the most interesting one of all, because anybody in a wheelchair who wants to use that pool is going to need it. And by the way, it's drawn out here 3 times in this paper. If anybody's ever seen this, you can see it. And that is how they mobilely get handrails with the minimum size of a slope. Now, the other day, nobody told me there was a slope. I was told I was going to get architectural drawings so I can take them to someone like MOD and say, is this actual? Because I'm not an architect, I admit. There's things like handrails all around the pool. Somebody cannot swim their leg. By the way, I have leg Perthes too. And if anybody understands what leg Perthes is, it means why I walk with this dumb cane all the time. It's because my hips freeze up on me. I can't use my legs. If I'm in a pool, which I very rarely go to, and my wife will testify to that, she wants to go, but I don't go. I have to sit out there, but if there's a handrail there, I can hold on to a handrail, not a suction cup handrail, one built so I and people like me can handle. Am I the only one that's going to use it? No. The elderly are going to use it all the time. They're also going to use handrails on steps to get out. Nothing was talked about that. By the way, there's also on what's called a transfer wall on there and in the booklet. I gave the number and the address and the email address to one of the city officials who was at that meeting. Again, I don't see the postman coming in, so obviously the person hasn't going to answer my questions. My question is simply this. Councilor Camuso, Mr. President, stated that it's going to be accessible. Well, there's a law. It goes like this. If you can't see it, feel it, touch it, work with it, it's not accessible. It's part of ADA. The idea of being part of your community or our community is that I have the same rights as everybody else. By the way, I just want to bring up a major point. Someone tonight who usually supports accessible issues contacted me today in my walk around the Meadow Glen Mall talking to people, which what I do, and they said, you know, Bill, you're starting to sound like the gentleman who filmed the bricks. I said, what did you say that for, Joe? He said, because they're not listening. The bricks weren't that important, he said. And then I said, are you trying to say that we're nothing more, the disabled are nothing more than a brick in a street? Or are you trying to say that we aren't as important as a brick? So I said to him, there's a difference between a brick and a human being. We pay taxes too. And I pay pretty darn good taxes. I live in a pretty good district. And I pay meal taxes. I go out and eat. I pay every tax anybody else here pays, and I probably pay as equal, if not more. Besides, I give money away, and some of you know that. My salaries and my monies that I get in, I give a good chunk of money away for people, like myself, so that they have these so-called accessibility. The mayor may be trying to do this, and it's a financial game, is get you guys to fund this piece, these guys to fund this piece, and somebody behind me, postman come in? The postman hasn't come yet. Here to fund this piece. Well, come on, ladies and gentlemen, put the project together into one piece. Show me. Wasn't it President Truman who used to say, show me and then I'll believe it's going to happen? Well, I haven't seen a plan yet that has full accessibility. And if they come up with the plan that they do say the threshold of doing this it does not allow us to do pieces of this, then I can agree with that. That's the law. But I doubt very much if you're going to rehab an entire pool that the threshold is not going to come up. Or if they go to the access board in Boston, as they have so many times in this city, and say, can we get a variance for this? Because we have a member on the board. Can we get a variance for this? And we go in and say, that variance, as Councilor Longo Cohen looked at the drawings one time and said, gee whiz, Bill's right. Somebody could die from this. They got the variance, though. And that's the kind of administration we have. We're looking for variances, a way of not doing something. Something that's going to help somebody in our community. And we are 1/4 of almost every family, 1 in 5 or 1 in 4, of any extended family or regular family has a disabled person in it. We deserve our equality. We deserve what we ask for. And I hope when you have that walk around, that if you don't have it, I'll gladly, anyone asks, I'll send it to you. Look at it. Ask them where the grab rails are. If they don't put them in, as Councilor Penta says, and I agree, they'll be looking for it later on and coming back for more money. We have a right to be thought of along with anybody else, and along with the swim team, along with anybody else that uses that pool. We have that right. And I want to thank you, and I hope I'm invited to that meeting, because I'll bring it with me. And I will ask those questions, and I think all of you know that. But I also say, you know, you guys do a great job sometimes. You're bringing this issue up now. I agree with you, Councilor Marks, the President, that it should have been brought up in 2007. Thank you.
Thank you.